What is we'll be seeing about what is microcontroller, what is Arduino, what are the different types of boards, what do you mean by sensors, digital sensors, analog sensors, etc., etc., the coding structures, and I'll be skipping some, okay, at this point of time. The introduction. So it's a controller basically. As any computer, it has internal CPU, RAM, IOS interface. It is used for control purpose and for data analysis. Okay, famous microcontroller manufacturers are Microchip. The Microchips is a company that manufacture the big microcontrollers. Atmel, even this Arduino is also using this Atmel chip only in Arduino board. Intel, analog devices, and there are many more. A microcontroller based board containing onboard power supply, USB port, and communicate with personal computer and an Atmel microcontroller chip. It simplifies the process of creating any control system by providing the standard board that can be programmed and connected to the system without the need to any sophisticated PCB design and implementation. What they say is, say, take for example the PIC microcontroller. I said, in if you want to use a PIC microcontroller, for that you should buy a programmer separately. It is a hardware, so you have to remove the chip from your board, and it has to be inserted in uh, the programmer or emulator. After that you have to compile it. Even the compiling also, it's a low level programming, assembly level programming. It is, of course, it is also a C language, something similar to C language, but it is a very tedious process actually. Comparing to that, if you use Arduino, everything is built in. You can just connect that PC, the Arduino board with the computer directly. So Arduino program can be obtained freely because everything is open source when it comes to Arduino. So through that you can reprogram any number of times in the Arduino board through a USB cable. Very simple actually. Okay, it's a open source, of course. There are many different boards available in the market. So the one famous model is the Arduino Uno board. This is the Mega, Lilypad, Arduino BT, Arduino Nano, Arduino Mini. You can choose any one, or you can test, you can try with all of it also. But my suggestion is, take any one or at the maximum two, not more than two, of course. Okay. So worldwide, most of the people are using Uno. But if you take myself, I am all along I will be using Arduino Nano only. Theoretically or specification wise also as well, absolutely there is no difference between Uno and Nano. For example, this Nano and Uno has got 14 digital inputs and outputs, maybe 6 or 7 analog inputs. Okay, both are having same number of inputs and outputs, both in digital as well as in analog aspect. Okay, but the size wise, it is very simple. So it occupies only very less space actually. Even it is the size wise, it is not even 45 mm to by 15 mm or so. Very little small footprint it has. Okay, so I'll be maybe in the following video sessions I'll be showing and using and doing many projects, executing many projects using Arduino Nano board only. Okay, the one beauty of this thing is, whether you are using Uno, Mega, Lily, Nano, Mini or anything, the program remains the same. The programming interface is same. So same program can be fused in Nano, in Uno, or in any of the models available under Arduino umbrella. So that is the beauty of this particular thing. As I said earlier, you can copy the program, you can fuse the program any number of times, more than 1,000 2,000 times you can insert. But only thing is, be careful in the connections. So the connections I'll tell you later. So this is the layout actually. Okay, so I'll use my own thing when it comes to the analog the the board diagram actually, right? So what is digital and what is analog? Let us see. Okay, see, many persons say that give their own explanation in many ways, but even what I am telling you now is it is my own way of explanation actually. Let us say example of digital. Here they said English alphabets has number of 26 letters, right? But there is no letter between A and B. Or if you take computer coding, all the computer follows the binary code 0 and 1. There is nothing between 0 and 1. So 0 means maybe off, 1 means on. So there is nothing in between off and on. So that means it is a digital. That means it is a digital. So square wave is a digital. Pulse width modulation (PWM) are all composed of square waves only. It is all a digital based signal actually. Okay, the analog. For example, the temperature can vary from 0 degree to 100 degree. Okay, it is analog signal. Okay, so uh, I in the previous video I published a video on PLC also. The PLC board, very special PLCs alone have analog and digital analog inputs and outputs, but by default in Arduino Uno or Nano it has 6 channels of analog inputs. Of course, it doesn't have analog output, of course. So 14 digital input and output. You can consider all 14 either as input or as output. Okay, it can be defined in the program. Okay, it has 6 or 7 8 I think so, 8 analog inputs actually. Okay, so the temperature is analog parameter, pressure is analog parameter, force is analog parameter. Okay, I'll be skipping some of this. So these are some of the photoresistor, photodiode, phototransistors are maybe coming under the input category. Okay, so this is a photo sensor. We call it a LDR, light detected light dependence resistor, LDR, or photodiode, phototransistor. These are all can be used as input, or a simple switch is an input. Okay, the Arduino coding. So Arduino coding is exactly it is almost nothing but C programming. Okay, it is almost similar to C programming. I will show you now. I will show you all these things in my when it comes to programming and execution part. So this is the layout of a nano board. Okay, uh, in this being the first video, I will be showing now, but after that I will be showing one and only nano. Okay, you see the digital pins 0 to 13, 0 to 13, 14 digital pins it has. The analog pins 0 to 5, 6 analog pins it has. So you can connect say for example 14 digitals, 14, 6, 7 you can use it as input and 7 you can use it as output. So you can have 7 inputs and 7 outputs. In addition to this, even you can use maybe analog pin 0 to 3, you can use it as digital inputs also as well. I tested, I tried. Okay, analog inputs can also be used digital inputs. Okay, it is possible. Okay, some pins can only be used as analog input. Okay, so this is the layout. Now if you see the pin numbers, it has nearly the number of pins nearly 28 pins or 30 pins or so. Okay, so pin number 1 to, these are the charts that I prepared from this diagram. Okay, so these are the digital input 0 1. IO means input and output up to 13. Okay, the analog inputs analog in A0 to A5. Here the A4 and A5 can be used as I2C, I squared C or I2C. Okay, so in some of the projects we suppose will be using the 2-line LCD display. right? So that can be directly connected through the pins A4 and A5. I'll show you, I'll tell you and show you later. So hereafter I'll be using one and only the Arduino Nano. So this is the Nano board, of course. So it has 30 pins starting from pin number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 15 this side, 15 that side, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, it goes up to 30. Okay, so it has IO 1, IO 2, IO 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 and 14. So D13, D0 to D13. There are 14 digital inputs and outputs. As I said earlier, all the 14 Ds can either be used as digital input or as output. Okay, so half of maybe 7 inputs and 7 outputs. Then analog inputs A0 to A7. Okay, in Uno it has only A5, whereas that is 6 analog inputs, whereas even though the Nano board is small, it has 8 digital inputs. That is why I confine myself with Arduino Nano. Okay, whether you use Arduino Uno or Arduino Nano, the programming is common. Okay, so these are the different pins, the different analog pins available with you. Okay, as I said earlier, up to A0 to A3 you can even use that as, can be used as digital IOs also. That is what I mentioned here, can be used as digital IO. A0 to A3, the 4 analog pins can be used as both, either as analog input or as digital inputs also. That means over and above, in addition to 14 digital IOs, you have 4 more digital I's actually. Digital I's actually. It is not IO, it is only I. You can use it as input only. You can't use it as output. Can be used as digital input. Okay. These are also analog pins actually. For this, some special purposes you can use A4 and A5. A6, A7 can only be used as analog input. Okay, and these are the pins. You can give the power supply through the pins 29 and 30. 29 and 30. You see, 29 is the ground, 0 volt. Sometimes they say 0 volt, sometimes they say minus V, sometimes they put GND. Whether it is GND 0 or minus V, all are same. The pin number 29. Pin number 30 also you can send a power supply. Okay, of course this is the USB host socket. Through that only you can connect the board with the computer through USB cable. Okay, so the moment you insert the cable with this through the computer, though it takes the power from the computer actually through the USB cable. So no separate power supply is required at that point of time. After that, either through by a separate 5 volt adapter, you just using the USB cable, you can USB cable and 5 volt adapter, you can supply the power to the Nano as a standalone device, or through pins 29 and 30 you can supply not 5 volt here. Now the voltage range should be between 7 to 10 it said, but of course you can start between 5 to 12 volts actually. You can supply a 12 volt even here straight away. I tested, it is working actually. Okay, so even though they mentioned here as 10 volt, you can use 12 volt, not more than, actually the maximum permissible voltage is 16 as per the data sheet, right? So 12 volt DC power supply is well and good. Otherwise this ground pin number 29 and this pin number 27 5 volt, you can supply the power to the board for its running. So there are 3 ways of powering in the Arduino Nano board. Either through USB port you can give a power to this particular board, or pin number 29 and 30 where you can send a 12 volt DC power supply, or pin number 29 and 27 5 volt power supply. So you can choose any one of these three. As per the data in the Arduino portal, they said it will choose the maximum voltage by default automatically. Okay, meaning even you can connect the power USB power will get connected here. At the same time, pin number 29 through pin number 29 and 30, you can supply a power of 12 volt DC, but it will take the power through this actually. Okay, but this is for programming, fusing the program onto the chip. For that, this is the only way. Okay, so now I'll show you the Arduino. This is the Arduino program icon. So this is the Arduino compiler. Take some time now, of course. This is a program that I downloaded for Pani Puri vending machine. So let me close this one. Oh, program is closed. Sorry. Let me open a new file. So new file is opened. Now I close. So this is how it looks. Okay. Again, let me open my recent program also. This is the recent program. You see, if you see that it is all along something similar to the C language actually. Okay, so don't worry. So I'll give you I'll assure you that maybe the second session or the third session, you will gain some confidence. You'll gain confidence on how to write a program for simple activities to start with, to switching on a lamp or a light or a fan or any appliances. Then slowly we'll see more and more programs. Okay, but let me give a small brief about how about the programming. With that, I will stop now. Maybe in the next session, will straight away see the some problems, the problem statement, and execution, making a project to solve that particular problem statement, right? So there are two things only here. There is one loop called setup, another loop called another block called. There are two blocks. It is my own way of explanation. There are two blocks only by default. Okay, setup block and loop block. In the setup block, all initial conditions you have to incorporate. In the loop only, you have to put all your commands. Okay, how what it's supposed to do. Okay, for example, when the moment I press a switch, okay, the light number 2 should be on. So for all those things, you should write a program inside the loop block only. Okay, so this is sufficient for time being. Okay, in the next session, we'll straight away get into the problem. Okay, thank you.